What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Let's get into the Thursday night football matchup we have between the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Hope everyone is doing quite all right as we get into tonight's picks. I'm going to have four best bets for you guys, kind of tell you guys how I'm going to be playing this game. We do get kind of a lull within Major League Baseball today. Only one game after we did get a couple two-game sweeps out there in that wild card round. So exciting time to be alive. Hockey, basketball, about to pick up too. So this is where you absolutely want to make sure that you guys are all subscribed right here to the channel. It is totally free to do so. All you have to do is click that button right down below on your page, as well as give me a follow on X. The handle is in the bottom left of your screen. All right, and let's get into the winners for tonight. This is where we're going to talk about this game a little bit more, okay? And we are going to dive into Outlier, one of my favorite platforms to talk sports betting. It really does a great job with getting me all the research and insights that I need to make the best bet possible, as well as finding the best odds out there in the market, okay? But let's get into this game line. In terms of the money line, this is going to be basically essentially a pick 'em. We do get some value, plus 110 right there on Tampa Bay. We do also have Tampa Bay catching a 1.5, and what we've seen is this number has not moved a muscle. Okay, opening at 1.5 as well as the total, we're still seeing 43.5. So this is one where you definitely want to look into a couple things. We are going to analyze and dive into the primetime insights and kind of betting trends within primetime matchups, as well as just basically where the money's at right now as it currently stands, okay? I think a lot of the reason why we haven't seen much line movement is because we do have a lot of injuries to be concerned about on both sides of the ball and for both teams. However, it does seemingly impact the Tampa Bay Buccaneers a little bit more so. We'll get into that, okay? But a couple betting trends to get into before we dive into the pros versus Joes metrics is that the Atlanta Falcons right now, okay, they are 3-7 in their last 10 games as a favorite. The over has also hit in a lot of those games for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against bottom 10 scoring defenses. And like I said, guys, the Falcons, despite being 3-7 in their last 10 games as a favorite, they're also 2-10. 2-10 is only 16.7% as they cover the number in the last 12 games as a favorite. So all intensive purposes, Atlanta is not that good of a favorite. We do have this steamy season, though, where, Atlanta win totals, everybody was on over that. That seemingly was the preseason consensus sharpest bet in terms of win totals, and now we have the Atlanta Falcons 2-2. So I think the sharper guys out there were taking the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but that's neither here nor there. We're moving forward, and we need to talk about how the Falcons are set up for this game because this is something where we've seen kind of this narrative within prime time, and obviously Captain Kirk has let us down before, and if you guys have bucked that trend, you have made some money betting against Kirk Cousins in prime time, and that's kind of what we're looking into in this spot. Let's look and dive into some of the numbers in terms of what this game brings to the table, as well as I want to talk about the public betting for this matchup, because I think that's where you do have a game where it's essentially a pick 'em. You haven't seen much line movement. That's where I use betting trends. That's where I want to see some of the more, sharper moves, okay? And this is where we've seen this within Tampa Bay. And, Baker Mayfield, good for him. Thank God he got out of Cleveland, and he's really doing well for himself down in Tampa Bay. We do have a divisional dog, okay? So divisional dogs are usually a sharper play when we just talk about blindly betting divisional dogs, and now we have Tampa Bay. I know it's a short dog, but they still come into this game as a 1.5 point underdog. Okay, they're taking the majority of the money versus the public bets on Atlanta. Atlanta has the firepower, the star power, and for some reason, it's just kind of they have that narrative right now, but I just don't see it. I saw what they were able to do with Bijan Robinson in a couple games. Despite averaging all those yards per play and all that good stuff when it comes down to the metrics, and Drake London seemingly has become Kirk Cousins' best friend. They have for some odd reason, somebody let me know why Kyle Pitts keeps getting drafted high in fantasy, and there's all of that belief with him. The stat lines are just not there. And yeah, they have all these weapons, but still, it's a 2-2 team. A lot of the deeper metrics we're going to look into within statistics, they don't really back up this move, but this is a trendy divisional dog. Okay, so I do want to tell you that straight up. This is a trendy divisional dog. Anytime a 3-1 team gets points, I don't really, quite frankly, agree with this public betting metric right here, because I will tell you that there is going to be a lot of just people taking the Buccaneers blindly because it's just going to be a public play. But the public can win every once in a while. But right now, as we currently stand, the money line and the spread are showing the vast majority of that the weighted value is towards the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay. Also, we do see a slight trend towards the under in terms of pros versus Joes. That's where we're going to be on in this game. We talk about kind of the trend where 6 of the last 9 games for Tampa Bay against bottom 10 scoring defenses, that number has went over. But for me, guys, I kind of blindly bet a system play, taking the unders in primetime spots. You give me Kirk Cousins, you give me kind of this potentiality where we see Mike Evans may have a setback, not be able to suit up. We may get a loaded box there, stopping the Tampa Bay run game, and Baker Mayfield might have a little dud himself. So it's something where I just see some value in taking that. If we do get Vita Vea to suit up for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I do look at this as being a potential very, very low-scoring game against the number. And 43.5, you just have to really worry about these injuries. But I will tell you this, guys, Antoine Winfield, we do have a lot of other people, Kalijah Cansey for the Tampa Bay Bucks, as well as Winfield. It's going to lend towards the narrative that we are going to get some explosiveness from the Falcons, but I just see it where if we do get a healthy Vita Vea suit up, stopping that run game, it could give Kirk Cousins fits up the middle. He's kind of a lame duck in the pocket, and that's kind of where we lend towards the argument that Tampa Bay will dominate, keep this one lower scoring, and then obviously we do see some more of a attacking defense from Todd Bowles and a running style when we talk about the how they're going to attack the Atlanta front, the Atlanta offensive front, using their outside edge rushers as well as Vita Vea up the middle. So I do look for the Atlanta Falcons kind of to move the football effectively. We'll get to that little prop angle I got going for that a little bit later in this video, where we do talk about Bijan Robinson a little bit. Okay, but right now I want to share with you guys kind of where we're at in terms of some of the numbers here backing up the this matchup and some of the insights. Okay, so you can see on your screen here big glaring differences right here in the numbers, third down percentage, red zone efficiency, as well as we look into some of the net touchdowns and converting, right? That is where we look at Tampa Bay having the clear-cut edge. They score more points, and that's something where, but you look offensively from a yardage standpoint, it's all about scoring points, okay? You could have, those running backs to get 20, 25 carries for 100 yards game in, game out, but they end up losing every single game because they just can't get into the end zone. So that's kind of where you have to read between the numbers a little bit. This is something that jumps out off the page as me as we look in some of the statistical rankings here for these two clubs, and this is where we can dive in a little deeper, but we do see coming into this game in scoring, both of these teams are kind of middle of the pack, a little bit upper middle, like I was talking about earlier. Red zone, it's kind of just right there in front of us, where I don't think that they're going to be converting a lot of touchdowns. We do see a bet. There is a nice bet on DraftKings if you are interested, over under the field goal yardages, total yardage for all field goals, right? And we've seen that number kind of climb extensively, where now it's over 3.5 field goals made is even money, where that used to be a strong plus money bet that we've done historically. Primetime field goals are kind of in demand, and that's kind of where we look into anytime touchdown scores for this game. I'm not going to be playing a lot of those, probably zero, to be honest. If you want to dabble with Mike Evans, maybe throw K-Dot in a little touchdown pass, and possibly even a little flyer on, one of the quarterbacks scampering in. That's something that I could see. I probably would lend towards the argument too, making a defensive touchdown, on the books, on the board. Tampa Bay, that's always a good situation, especially against Kirk Cousins. I could see a pick six or a fumble six in the cards, okay? But I'm not going to be getting big on points tonight, and that's kind of where I'm at within my handicaps, okay? But the biggest thing for us, guys, is both of these teams, they struggle to run the football. So if we do get a weird lower scoring game, we're going to get a lot of punts. There's going to be a lot of possibly two and done in terms of moving the chains. I always kind of call it that, right? When you play in unders, I like to see at least one first down, then a punt. If you get too many 3-and-outs, you have the potential to flip the field and have a good return and all that stuff. So for me personally, I like to see the first down markers. I like them chains to move one time at least before we do get that punt, because that's how you eat the clock, okay? Anyways, I digress. Let's get into some of the deeper numbers, right? There's nothing really glaringly other than turnovers. I think that Tampa Bay has the edge in that. But we talk about some of these metrics in terms of rushing and passing. They're basically even teams, and I think that's why we see this spread so close to +1.5. If anything, it's a shade towards Atlanta for being at home, and we do get Tampa Bay with a extensive injury report. But we look at kind of the strength of schedule. Atlanta's been playing both of these teams have had a top 5 strength of schedule, and strength of victory for the Buccaneers is number 1, and the strength of schedule conversely for the Falcons is number 1. So they've both been playing some really strong tests to start off the season, right? And that's kind of where I'm going to lend towards another argument where we do look into kind of the odds here, and I do want to get down one of my angles, and this is going to be probably a home run bet, okay? And I'm going to find player props here, okay? Most receiving yards, all right? And this is where we're going to get into some of the numbers here. Most receiving yards. This is one where you can find this on FanDuel right now at +2,500. This is going to be my home run play, my best play of the day. I'm going to put a half unit on Bijan Robinson, most receiving yards. Look back in his game logs. He has the potentiality to bust one. He could have a 60-yard reception and obviously subsequent receptions throughout the game. It's a home run play. Do I think this is going to cash? No. Can I see it cashing? Yes. And will I bet it for 25-1? You bet your butt I will. So I'm taking Bijan Robinson +2,500 to get this one done. It's kind of my home run play. If you have a boost, any bet for this game, get some extreme value. Load it up. All he has to do is break one. And if you look back at his game logs, he has receiving yards totaling 40, 45, and I think one even in the 50s. And that kind of lends towards the argument, hey, if we do get Mike Evans not to suit up, if Godwin gets shut down, if we just get a tight end game and Drake London's MIA and both of these teams run the football, I definitely could see just one big reception for Bijan Robinson taking home the hardware. It is kind of an outlier. It is kind of a big kind of home run play for me, but we're not going to put a full unit on it. We're just going to have some fun with that one. That is my kind of my sleeper, my whatever you want to call it, my zinger. That's my best bet in terms of value for tonight's games. Okay, for tonight's game. Also, we are going to dive into the prop market right here, where I'm going to show you guys some game props. This is one bet that I truly love. I did talk about that total field goal yardage. This is where we're going to take total touchdowns. I'm on the under. I believe in the under. I think they're going to run the football, or at least try to. Bucky Irving now in the fold and taking carries away from what we're seeing there with Rachaad White. I think they're going to utilize their weapons, especially if we do get a weird kind of secondary / Mike Evans. Is he hurt? Is he not? I could just see more runs in this game. Play towards the under. They're going to try to keep Kirk upright. And under 4.5 touchdowns, we can get on a plus money price, +120. It's kind of a weird prop being offered on ESPN at +120, but I'm going to jump on that. If we do get the 4 touchdowns, that still puts us at 28 points, and we still have a lot of room to cover that in terms of an under. So if you do believe in the under 5 touchdowns at a +120 price, you believe in the under, it's kind of a piggyback bet. I'm not going to ever lay the -$2 on the under 5.5, although that would be a great dance partner if you do believe in the under and you want to make a same game parlay and get that all boosted up. Okay, so that's where I'm at. And then, guys, obviously to conclude this video, I'll get into my final plays here. That's where we do see my best bet of the day, though. I am going to do my ever so effective same game teaser, taking Tampa Bay +8.5, under 49.5 in a same game primetime teaser, getting 6 points in my favor. That's where I see a lot of value. This game, just betting that it won't get into the 50s and that Tampa Bay keeps this one under a touchdown. So we got a little bit of a cushion there. That is my best bet of the night. We talked about the home run play with Bijan Robinson +2,500 on FanDuel for most receiving yards in this contest. Also, I'm going to be on the under 4.5 touchdowns and the under 43.5. Okay, and that's kind of where I'm at. Those are my best bets. I'm not going to dive into player yardages and all that stuff because yes, we can attack that from a prop market, but it's just something weird about this game where I think that we get a weird showing, an outlier. I could be wrong, could be completely baseless in my claims, but I've seen Tampa Bay play primetime a lot, and I just have this kind of this weird indication that we do see a very much a slugfest in between the tackles, and we kind of get a lot of sacks, a lot of pressures, and then this one obviously is going to result into a lot of punts and long third downs. So just kind of how I see the game flowing in my head. So that's where I am going to have a strong play towards the under, and I hope you guys all do well with your picks and your best bets, and we cash a lot of tickets as we enter into the weekend. I can't believe October's already here, but I will have my baseball video up as we dive into Game 3 between the Mets and the Milwaukee Brewers, and that was a pretty exciting finish there for the Brewers. Not for me. I had the Mets on the money line and resulted in a losing ticket. That would have been a dandy, but we move forward. We live to bet another day, and let's get it going for this weekend. Exciting weekend in college football, and I'll be looking forward to talking to you guys about that, as well as my Sunday NFL plays as always. So appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe right down below on your way out if you have not already done so. Also, please be sure to check out Outlier and channel memberships if you want to join us here at TBM down below in the description. Have a good one. Good luck with your bets.